So good morning guys. So today my topic is G7. Okay. So for the further understanding of the G7, what is G7, what are the causes and effect, means how they can prevent the global issues, okay, how they're working on them, why India is invited in that grouping, okay. So we have to understand from the basic to the advanced model, okay. So first of all we have to understand what is G7, okay. G7 means it is a grouping of seven most advanced developed economies in the world, and these countries are USA, Canada, and four European countries, that is UK, France, Germany, Italy, and the one Asian country, that is Japan. Okay, so these are the countries. They have been working on the the climate issues. They have been working on the what is generally going on in the modern level, how they can overcome it with the discussions, with the meetings. So these have been working on these, means they are working on this type of issues. So we have to understand what's their major focus in the recent meeting in the G7. Okay, we saw in the G7 means what they discussed, okay, and how they can apply it and overcome the issues, okay. So first of all, the most means we can say that the global issue, that is climate change, okay. No, in the 2026, means from the last many years the climate change is rapidly increasing, okay. The We can say that the ice melting, the glacier is melting, okay. The glacier melts in many, we can say that in many faster ways, okay. The glacier is melting in a very faster ways, the climate change is rapidly increasing, so countries is focusing on the sustainable development, okay. So we have know that we have 70 sustainable goals and countries are working on them. It is not legally bound, but we have been working, but we all want, and we also wanted to work on that sustainable development goals to reduce the, we can say that, to reduce the global CO2 emissions, okay. This is the first issue. Second issue we saw in the recent war, that was the issue, the supply chains, the oil reserves, means not oil reserves, but is the crude oil supply chain. There is, when we saw that Iran, means we saw that Iran, when Iran put the control, when Iran controlled the Strait of Malacca, so feel we can say that we knew the how the consequences that the world faced, okay. How the consequences, which are the consequences the world faced, like when Iran controlled the Strait of Hormuz, there was a lot of disruption on the supply chain of the crude oil. So countries are working on this issue, and they also focusing on the renewable source of energy, clean energy, like the geothermal energy, hydropower, electricity, okay, wind energy, like these are the country, these things that the countries are focusing on to achieve this. This is the second thing. Third thing is that means in the recent times, in the from the 2022 onwards, like we know that the European Union, they have been supporting the Ukraine to fight with the Russia. Also they have been supporting the Ukraine sovereignty, okay, and they also want to maintain, and they also want to increase their security and peace in their surrounding area. We can say that in their area, okay. In the Europe, they are wanted to maintain peace in the Europe, and also wanted to declare the Ukraine as a sovereign nation, and they also condemned Russia to do this, okay. Number four thing is these countries are working on the artificial intelligence. We know that in the latest time the artificial intelligence, especially the European Union and the advanced countries like the America and all, Japan, they have been working on the artificial intelligence. And they also, we knew that how, if India also participating it, but if India wants to achieve the something really big, then we also knew the power, then we also know how to use the artificial intelligence, and how we can use in the modern level, in the base level of the Indian subcontinent. So this is the thing, artificial intelligence. Fifth thing, this the country focusing on the drug drug trafficking, illegal terrorism. Okay, not illegal terrorism but terrorism. So these countries have been working on this issue. Okay, now the question arises why India is invited, because these countries know that India is not India just invited, but there are many countries like Africa Union, India, Kenya, South Korea. These are the countries inviting. Okay, so they have also prioritized to uh, we can say that these countries G7 countries also prioritize their work to work with these means we can say least developed countries like in the West Asia, like in the African Union. These are also been targeting. Okay, so this is the things. Now the question arrives why India is invited. Though because we know that India is a global emerging economy in the world, okay, developing economy in the world, and it lies in the center of the Indian Ocean. So it is a major trade route, like into Pacific trade routes. Or no, on the other side, if we see the China is countering, means China is using, we can say that very bad diplomacy. Like China is doing, sometimes they use the debt trap policy with the Sri Lanka, they use checkbook policy with the Sri Lanka. So they, if they created their bad image, that's why they are focusing to invited India in this issue to counter the China's growth. Okay, to counter the China's growth. Why? Because India needs something that India is not good at. What is India is not good at? Because G7 countries, they are focusing on the they are focusing on sustainable development. India is also working on sustainable development. These countries are working on the artificial intelligence, how to boost artificial intelligence in the base level, from the society to the up level. Okay, so India is also working, and India is also working with other countries like the France, like the many other countries to learn something, means like related to the artificial intelligence to do well in their to do well in the homeland. Okay, in the homeland. On the other hand, when the world feels disruption in the oil prices, then India also feel it. That's why these countries and India, these countries are working on to maintain the supply chains of the oil, as well as we are also working on the collaborating with these countries to maintain the supply chain, and also to maintain the supply chain of the critical rare earth minerals. Of course, we know that how this is very important for us to, not for us but for the whole world, that rare earth minerals and the critical minerals they used in the everything, like the technology, radars, modern technology, everything. We are also working with them on the semiconductors, because they have also used in the same times for the semiconductors, also known as the modern technology. Okay, without these you cannot run anything in your lifetime. You see TV, you saw laptop, mobile phones, anything that you use in the today's era, it made it with the semiconductors. Okay, so this is the thing. Like no, we are going to detail, not going into detail, but I'm explaining to once again why India is invited. First of all, artificial intelligence, like to maintaining the critical supply chains, India is working on with the country to maintain the supply chains, like the semiconductors, very important for us. And number four thing is that the energy security, like the oils and many other things. Okay, so these are the things that India is invited, and how these two countries, how these countries they are going to deal with each other in that forum. Okay, this is for all. Thank you.